I knew for myself that whenever I'm gonna drop an album, it has to be multi-genre. It has to break borders and boundaries and all.
I've always felt that like if something was underground and then it becomes commercialized, it's generally because more and more people start to like it. So it's not necessarily that something's becoming worse or washed out, but it's just evolution, I guess you could say.
If you're a copycat of the thousands melodic techno producer, it won't help. You will stay at the level where you are.
Guys, what's up, my friends? Welcome back to Brodie Nero TV. Another big episode. Super excited to be here. Can't believe I'm saying this. INNELLEA is in the building. What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, good, man. Just came with a scooter, Bali style. How are you?
Yeah, amazing, man. I think this is your second time here. Exactly. What do you think about Bali?
Yeah, finally I have some time to explore the island, and I really love the vibe. It's chilled and it's very international. The waves are good.
Yes, surfing. Cool,
and
of course.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Nice, man. Nice, man. Yeah, so super happy to have you here, not only for the podcast, but of course for Resurgence Thursdays, which is a party I started about a year ago where we're bringing international talent, focusing on melodic techno. So grateful to have you here playing in the biggest nightclub in Bali. Production is insane. I'm lucky enough to open up for you.
Hell yeah.
Should be a good night. Cool, man. Let's jump into this. As I mentioned, I want to talk a bit about production, performance, all that kind of stuff. Dude, when I went on Beatport the other day, I saw you have something like over 100 plus releases over the last 7 years. It's a lot of music. I'm curious, when you hear that you've put out that much music over that long of a period of time, what do you think? What do you feel? It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also for me, when I look at this is INNELLEA playlist and I see those 100 tracks or even more, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Maybe I should reduce my amount of songs that I'm releasing, like having quality before quantity. But I also think that music for me is capturing my emotions and feelings in this very moment. And if a song really resonates with me in that time, why shouldn't I release it, you know? And I want to share this with my fans, my listeners. And,
yes.
Yeah, it helps me to somehow also filter all these emotions and structure it. So, and it's always a nice memory for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I've mentioned it on a few podcast episodes is that I feel that, especially with social media, there's so much content coming out and there's a lot of music coming out every single week on Beatport, and it's like I feel as though if you're not releasing pretty frequently, you can kind of get lost in the sauce.
I'm not quite sure about it. I'm asking this question myself a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know we're living in this fast-paced world where everything is like gone after 2 weeks almost, and
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not quite sure how to play this game actually. I'm figuring it out, so let's see.
Wow. Do you feel that it's a matter of like staying true to yourself and not forcing releases to come out just for the sake of staying relevant?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I just said, I think quality always over quantity. But yeah, on the other side, the monthly listeners, I mean, if you're always in this playlist because you have a new release to pitch, of course it helps.
Yeah.
And I think this system destroys a little bit the art.
Yeah, I get it. I guess it's like a bit of a tough position to be in because you want to stay relevant, you want to stay true to your craft.
But you also want to be still hot and create a hype around something. And if you release every 2 weeks a new track, maybe people get sick of it or bored of it earlier, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So. When I was on Instagram, this was like a few months ago, I saw you make a post and it was during like some downtime. You took like a holiday of some sort, but you took an Instagram story of your laptop and it was a folder and it had like 12, you're like, I knocked out these 12 or 13 tracks on my 6 days off. And I was curious, like it's super inspiring, it's a crazy work ethic. What is it that's driving you to work at this speed, like to the point that you can't sit still? Is it creative desire? Is it ambition? Is it money? Is it trying to create something that hasn't been made before? All the above? What do you think it is?
I think it's a longer story. I played hockey in my youth pretty professional for my age. I was 17 and I had 5 games for the national team from Germany, and then I quit, and then I started snowboarding. I was semi-professional there as well, and
cool.
I have the feeling with music now I really want to make it, and I think it's ambition, and I want to get the best in the craft that I'm doing, kind of, you know. So that keeps me going. I feel like maybe it's a bit sick, but yeah, I don't know. And why like this amount of tracks happen in these off days, I cannot really explain, but always when I'm taking a time off, I feel the need, like, fuck, I need to work on something, and then I start working, and sometimes it flows and sometimes not. So
no, I mean, now that I think about it, like 12, 13 tracks, that's basically an album.
I know.
In a few days off.
I know.
Wow, super cool, man. Going a little bit deeper in like your creative process, I was curious, when you create now, are you creating something, or do you create based on the consideration of what your fans are gravitating towards? Or for example, like if you see one song on the album, it's a certain style and it's got a lot more streams than another, does this influence your creative process? Or when you're creating, is it just strictly from you, strictly personal?
I am fighting with this in my inner self, like, to fulfill the wishes and the expectations from the listener versus just being me, capturing my emotions, and that I don't care like what other people say and think. Sometimes I'm 2 steps ahead or even more to the listener, so they cannot really follow. So for example, the I Never Got, which is like a drum and bass kind of track.
Yes.
A lot of people don't really understand it, and I cannot even be mad with them, you know, because I was just listening to a lot of drum and bass in this period of time, and then I went to the studio and I wanted to make this track, you know, and it turned out to be my most personal track ever.
Wow.
And then I had to release it, and yeah, it didn't went so well stream-wise,
right,
but it was the best track in the shows all the time. People went crazy, and I really had the feeling that everybody can resonate with it in the right setting.
Wow, that's super interesting to know that maybe digitally, the digital experience, the song didn't perform as well as you thought, but then you play it live and people are going nuts.
Yep.
Wow.
It was like that.
Yeah, cool. Speaking about the album, bro, we have it here, The Belonging. I want to spend some time on this and split it into a couple categories. So I'm sure this response may have some depth from you, but why the name The Belonging? Let's start there.
Yeah, basically it's about finding home, and about the feeling that, I don't know, I mean, we all have our past, and I don't want to call it burden because I'm a white privileged man living in Europe, so I never had like a burden or something on my, you know. But still, it's always hard, also in these times, to find home or a group of people where you feel like you belong to, and I want to point out that topic with the album.
Wow, really cool. What the album did for me personally, and I'm sure many others, and we spoke about it a bit a moment ago actually, is break down walls and limitations that we put in ourselves. And I would say, generally speaking, you're known for being a great melodic techno DJ producer, but the album, as we spoke, is a journey, and it crosses over a multitude of genres: breakbeat, melodic, some alternative rock style, the UK hip hop on there. What gave you the confidence to say, I'm going to do it my way and not put yourself in the melodic techno box? Like, for example, like, I'm sure some people may be a little bit shaky or hesitant to put out a song that's a completely different genre, like the drum and bass one.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I didn't care at the album at all. So what you have here is just capturing of my emotions during a specific period of time. And
got it.
I didn't care. So I knew for myself that whenever I'm gonna drop an album, it has to be multi-genre. It has to break borders and boundaries and all. It has to push boundaries. And yeah, that's what I tried, and I think it worked. I'm very, very happy whenever I listen to it, and
for sure,
yeah. So I'm good.
Yeah, nice. In terms of like release strategy, you did a great job releasing different singles leading up to it. Was all of that like super planned and like meticulous detail, and like you had a process of how you wanted to roll out the album with the timing and the different singles coming out?
We had it, but of course it always changes, and the closer you get to the deadline or to the release date, things are changing. But yeah, in general, there was a plan. I wanted to show that there are multi-genres on the album.
Yeah.
And also to maybe prepare the people a little bit, to show them, hey, you're gonna listen to something else and not just a melodic techno dance album.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to show like the variety of it. So we released Burning Out, for example, which is the alternative rock thing.
Yeah.
Then also the track with Aparte, There's Another Me, which is kind of ending also the circle. There's Another Me, like the transformation from some dark period of time to something where you feel that you actually belong. And yeah, so it was planned.
Cool.
And also here I'm very happy. The whole concept of the album, I'm still very proud of it. So
yeah, man, for sure. So all that being said, are you happy with the strategy you chose to roll out with this album? Would you change anything potentially with a future release?
I don't know. I mean, you learn from mistakes, you know. So this was also a process, again, learning process, and I wouldn't change it. No, I would do it the exact same thing, to take this exact same things with me, to learn from the exact same things.
Nice. Leaning into it. Cool. So aside from the sonic experience of listening to an album, you had some exceptionally cool visuals. And actually, for me, aside from the music, the visuals really pulled me to the project. That's what I took notice of, to be honest. The first one, there was multiple visuals that I think came out with it. And the first one was basically a shot of you straight on, super like monotone, mono emotion, some tears coming down. What was like the symbolism behind that?
That was actually like the main idea that I had, was to show me very vulnerable, and also to share the deep inside of the album, like this sense of not knowing where you belong, being like, I don't know, super freaked out because you just don't know what to do anymore, you know. And that was the intro of the album. You're right, yeah.
Wow, man, I kind of have an off-the-fly question. Do you think, like, obviously there's a lot of realness and authenticity behind everything that you're doing. Do you feel you are where you belong? Do you have that good circle around you, your team, everything? You're happy with it?
100%. Shout outs to my team.
Nice.
Without them, it wouldn't be possible, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great, man.
I'm at the right spot right now. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty confident. And before I dropped the album, I wasn't really sure about it. And it helped me. Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool. A project help you navigate life, essentially.
Yeah. Or job. I don't know, like both. I mean, I'm so close to what I'm doing. I mean, obviously I defer INNELLEA and Michael.
Yeah.
But as this is like 100% passion also, it's hard sometimes to defer. And but...
Yeah, you mean like having duality between yourself as Michael as an individual and being
exactly.
an artist?
Yeah,
I got you. Cool, man. After so many big collaborations, remixes, releases with some of the biggest labels in melodic techno, like Afterlife, is there a collaboration with another artist you'd like to do still, or a label you'd like to be on?
I never really think of this because it comes naturally. I can tell that there are 2 collabs coming with artists kind of unexpected. It will drop January one and the other one in March, I think. So yeah, there are things happening already. So
cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
But if I would have to choose something, no, I can't really tell.
Okay.
No.
Okay, fair enough. What inspired the idea of, for a lack of better terms, kind of reaching down to help up-and-coming artists and feature people from different walks of life on the album versus, like, I feel like a lot of times when artists are up-and-coming or even established artists, they lean on to quote-unquote bigger artists to kind of lean and grow their fan base. But in this project, you did and inexplicably cool and humble job of, again, for lack of better terms, reaching down a bit to put up and coming people on. What inspired that, or what was your thought process behind that?
100% the art. I didn't care about this. I mean, obviously, it's cool to have big features, and it will help for sure. But in this project, it was all feelings, and I wanted to have collaborations with people that I really love. And Juan, for example, is one of them.
Yeah.
Aparte, I love his stuff since day one. And Ubik, my best friend.
Yes.
All of them, yeah, you know. And this is a hard project there, you know. And that's why I want to do it with hard people. And yeah, it worked.
Wow.
Also Flo Dan. I mean, I was lucky because I approached him like 2 years before Rumble came out.
Okay.
So I think after that it wouldn't have been possible. Now he has the Grammy and all, you know, and it came right before the album. So I was very lucky. And then I met him, and he's such a cool guy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also hard people.
Right. Yeah, I was actually listening to Flodan's music the other day, and I mean, he's at like over 5 million listeners on Spotify now. He's doing his thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Any plans to maybe start your own label?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm right in the process right now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, exactly. It will drop next year around April, May.
Wow,
I'm working on the
that's not
concept
far.
right now. Exactly.
Cool. Super excited about it.
Yeah.
Do you already have music that you could know could be initial releases for it, or is it just
I'm dropping, like, I can say a little bit about it. I will drop a compilation first that is only made out of collaborations with me, because I think it's cool to give the artists I collaborated with my platform. A little bit like in the Belonging album, and to showcase them in the first release also, you know. And so yeah, it will be a compilation, all collaborations, different styles as well. But yeah, I think
nice.
I feel I have a clear vision also sound wise, and I want to try it, give it a shot.
Cool. Are you able to say the name of the label, or not yet?
No.
Okay, cool.
But
we were on our edge, like, let's hear.
No, but if you look closely in the room, you will read it.
Ah, okay. The signs are there. You guys do the rest. Nice, man. Segueing over to talking about DJing and performing, I have a couple cool questions here. So, first question, DJ set versus live performance. What's your favorite?
Both.
Whoa,
I really like the variety, because when I play live and I have my show, like the full setup and everything, I really love it to perform it. I know exactly what's happening, but I love to perform, and I love to have the show going on.
Yeah.
And with DJing, I obviously love to be flexible. It's easy to travel and everything. So I love both. Once I do this for a period of time, I really want the other thing. You know, like if I play only DJ sets, I'm like, fuck, I need to play live again.
Yeah.
It's way better. I can do my thing. I can sing and interact on a way different level. And the other way around. So when I only play live, I'm like, yo, this is so tiring. Always the bag, check-in luggage, it's not arriving, sound check, no sleep. Yeah, then I wish DJ sets, because it saves a lot of time.
Right, cool. I was curious, for DJing, it's relatively a constant energy. Of course, you go up and down, sonically speaking, when you create a journey and you're playing for people. For a live performance, if it's the Belonging album, for example, some songs are quite chill. I was curious, is it tough? Was it initially maybe you've got a good grasp on it now, but was it tough to manage like crowd control, for example, when you're doing a performance?
The hardest thing is with the live show, I had to prepare it without even trying it, you know. So once I had my first show, everything was time coded, and I wasn't really able to change it. We talked to the production team like, hey guys, if there's a moment that doesn't work at all, I have to change it. But it turned out everything worked as planned. Like, I worked for a really long time on the live set, track selection, the order and everything. Like, how can I play 186 BPM track on a 126 BPM track, you know, like how can I do these things, and where do I place the ballad, the So Far So Near, for example. And it was challenging, but really cool in the end. So it's more like a concert vibe then, you know? Like you have a little break, then the breakbeat starts. Right after the breakbeat, there's So Far So Near, like the ballad, because I had no other place where I can fit it in, basically. So it was cool, challenging, but I think the show was great.
Nice. Are there a lot of like freestyle moments? I imagine you could create something pretty unique and special, because it's not like you're just playing a song straight through. If you had like a next ballad or harmony in your mind, you could just implement it right there.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it was time coded, so the track selection, the order was always the same. But I have parts in my set where I can improvise. So there's like a added silence, let's say, where I can just play the drums, or I do, like, as you said, like chord progression or something, adding a harmony. So cool, but still very planned.
Yeah, very cool, man. In terms of preparation, I feel like there's going to be a lot of like up and coming DJs that watch this podcast for, experience, wisdom, knowledge. Getting a bit more granular with like preparation for both a live set and a DJ set. What's your preparation like for a DJ set, let's say?
So I pre-sleep at the hotel room. I wake up, I check in-flight, I check my emails, I check my WhatsApp messages. I check the tracks that I've got as promo. I download if I like them, and I put them in a folder, and then let's go.
Wow. Do you go as detailed as like planning the arrangement of putting a few songs together, but still leaving
the first
room?
2 songs, yeah.
That's it?
First 2 songs, yeah.
Whoa, that's literally it for real.
It also changes, like sometimes I'm arriving at a venue and I'm like, oh no, I can't play this song as first song. I have to go like slower or faster or whatever. So yeah, I have a few openings, and then from that point on, I just improvise.
Got it. And then the live set we spoke a bit about, but I guess you're not really downloading promos for the live set. It's going to be strictly songs from the Belonging. Do you sometimes throw in like exclusive records or unreleased stuff when you're doing that live set?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not only the album tracks, obviously. I also play older tracks or newer tracks that nobody knows. So yeah, it's a mixture of everything. I play 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Which is a long time. And the last 30 minutes is always completely improvised. Most of the time only new tracks.
Wow, super cool, man. Sounds like it's a crazy experience. We'll have to, for next year, we got you a DJ set this time. Maybe next year we bring you back for a live set.
Next year I won't play live, I think.
No way.
I have to take a break, because I always came up like year after year since 3 years with these concepts, and I loved it, and I love it, and I love to plan it. I with the production team, like building a stage, building a visual identity and everything. Yeah. But it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of money, and I feel like I need to breathe, and come back 2026 with a even stronger concept.
Okay, nice.
Let's see also how the label turns out, and then I just need to figure out some things, observe a little bit.
Yeah, nice. No, I dig it, man, for sure. The last thing I wanted to ask around the live performing is, I guess on this album, would this be your debut, like singing and putting your own vocals on something?
Oh yeah, no, I mean not putting my vocal on something.
Yeah.
But singing live. Yeah.
Nice.
On the album tour, I sang live for the very first time.
Cool.
And it was pretty scary, man.
I was gonna ask, was it nerve-wracking?
Yes. Right before the first show, I was so scared. It was in Munich. All my friends were there, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Wow. Then the second show was one of the bigger ones. It was for 3,500 people in Egypt, and the microphone was way too loud, and I really I fucked it up. But it happens. It's part of the journey, you know.
Sure.
Like I sang out of tune, and I watched some videos afterwards, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
Wow.
No, but it's live. It's rock and roll.
Sure. That's it. Something just came up for me. I remember seeing a really cool, significant post. I'm sure a significant moment in your life, bringing your family on stage. What did that mean to you? What was that experience like? I'm sure everybody up and coming, or somebody that's even on the brink of success and fame, they strive to have a moment, something like this. So I was curious, leading up to that moment, how was it? What did it mean to you?
Yeah, it was super special. I think I had them once all together on a show before in Munich.
Yeah.
But it was at drum sets. It was live. It was so emotional. My parents never really fly somewhere. And so we flew them into London, They came on stage. My dad came with his backpack. And so good. And we all started crying.
Wow, man.
And it was super emotional because it was also during the I Never Got, where I sometimes do a little speech, like telling the story of the belonging and encourage people a little bit. So it was a really good moment. One of the most significant moments in my career or even in my whole life.
Wow.
For sure, yeah.
Cool. Well, congrats on it, man.
Thanks.
Just going back a bit to origin story, I want to stay here for a moment. What role did family have in your journey in music?
My family, they were always super supportive, whatever I've done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, family is everything, right? So whatever happens to you, your family will be there for you. At least my family, I mean, as I said, I'm privileged.
Sure.
Growing in this family and everything. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
Super nice. What was, just again, sticking on origin story for a second here, what was your entry point into music? Like, did you play instruments when you were younger, or?
I once played in an AC/DC cover band.
No way.
Yeah, I played the guitar.
Cool.
For maybe a year or so. We were like teenagers, and AC/DC was cool for us. Now I look at this time like, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's it. My parents not really have a musical background or anything. I just jumped into it because I went to a concert once of Boys Noise. I was like, oh, what is this?
Wow.
Crazy. I want to be part of it somehow.
Cool. Nice, man. What's your thought process on where, or not thought process, but what's your general thoughts and perspective on, let's say, melodic techno right now? For me, I got into it just in recent years, but I was curious your thoughts on something that was originally more underground, now seemingly becoming more and more mainstream, seeing Anima and Sphere, all these sold out shows, and the sound, it looks like it's going more mainstream. How do you feel about that?
What I love about it is that nowadays everything is mainstream, so the borders are like gone. You can do whatever you want with whoever you want. And I think this is amazing. This part I really love. Downside of it is obviously it's getting commercialized, so the art is getting destroyed by short arrangements, not really artistic synth sound design or whatever. So it's getting more and more into this commercial radio music, basically. So when I went back to my parents last time in the radio, there was like this banging acid techno sound, and it was in like the radio station where they play German. Helene Fischer is her name, like the German pop star, like stuff like this. And then the next track is this banging techno track, and I was like, what is this? Like, huh?
Wow.
So yeah, we are there. It's commercialized already, and I think not only for a year or so. It's at least for the last 3 years. It grew to something crazy and big, and nobody would ever thought it would grow to, I think.
Right.
What I really like also is like these big artists. I mean, there's no phone policy or whatever, like these discussions about it. They're still happening, and I think it could even become like a cool thing to get underground again, like this movement against it. And so I'm fine with it, man. Like, whatever.
Yeah. So are you pro phone or no phone?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I think everybody should decide by his own. If you want to capture like a moment which is amazing because you love the track or whatever, go for it. But maybe keep in mind that it's disturbing if you film all the time with a flashlight on.
Fair enough, yeah.
I really can understand if people want to capture a moment, and I would never feel to ask them to like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
And without the people with the phones in the club, the music wouldn't have been where it is right now.
Right.
So I'm okay with it.
Nice. That all being said about the sound going more commercialized, you seem like you have a pretty neutral perspective on it all. When it comes to your music and your direction you want to go as an artist, do you feel yourself, do you feel a need to maybe resist the commercialized direction it's going and go another way in order to sort of preserve the underground the underground, what's the word I'm looking for? But the underground vibe, let's say, simple terms. Yeah. Does this influence where you want to go as an artist?
I think I would lie if I would say it's not influencing me. Of course, I'm thinking of how can I grow and how can I go bigger or whatever. And obviously, for example, collaborations with more commercial artists help. And but that's what I said. Like, we're living in a time now where it doesn't really matter anymore. So you can do it. Maybe don't sell your butt, you know, like stay true to yourself, even in these collabs, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe your underground song can get to a point where you never thought it would get to. And
right.
People will love it. For me, myself, I always do both. As I also did there, like I don't really care to follow trends or shoulds or do's or don'ts. I don't know. So yeah. So if I go with a commercial collab, maybe the next track is something more underground, and will the following that I have from the past will like this more, and the commercial one they won't really like. But I try always to keep a balance.
Yeah, I dig that.
I will try to keep a balance. Right now, everything was underground.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to oversimplify this, but I've always felt that, like, if something was underground and then it becomes commercialized, it's generally because more and more people start to like it. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that something's becoming worse or washed out, but it's just evolution, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everything is working in cycles anyways.
Right.
So in 5 years, we will have trance again, and melodic techno's gone, or I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. For now, we enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I would enjoy trance, though.
Trance?
Yeah, it's nice, melodic.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, actually, I'm on my own production journey, but I can recall recently watching a YouTube video just trying to get some advice for sound design. They were saying, it was a melodic techno instructor, let's say producer, that was saying, yeah, this bass rhythm is pulled from trance. So there's a
100%. The 16th bass, of course, it's from trance.
Right.
And the melodies, the arpeggios, super, super trance influenced.
For sure. Cool, man. Okay, switching lanes again, going a little bit deeper here. So I saw in other interviews, you said you enjoy spending time in nature, disconnecting, getting off grid, things like that. I have an interesting question. By disconnecting from all the craziness of the world, what do you think you're therefore reconnecting to? I was curious, your belief system, perhaps when you're going through adverse times, what you maybe turn to?
Mainly, I mean, with disconnecting is just switching off my mind for a second and not thinking of like music or art or creating, but just being in the moment, you know. And what helped me back in the days and also now was like doing sports like skating and surfing, for example. It's like you have to be in the moment, because if you're not in the moment, you will hurt yourself. And then that's kind of the only time where I can switch off, because I'm forced to.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically it. Believing, I don't know. I'm not so spiritual.
Right.
I believe in being a good human being.
Yeah.
Is the only thing you should focus on.
Got
and
you.
Maybe just, or not maybe, like what I think you should do is definitely leave every place more positive than you found it. And yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Cool. I'm just curious, sticking on this for a second, like clearly you're having some wild success in your life right now, making a significant impact. And aside from like grinding and hustling and hard work ethic, like these are pretty big blessings that are coming to your life. Do you at any point think that it's something bigger than you that's facilitating this process? Or do you feel like you're still the captain of the ship? Or
I think obviously things are happening also because you're at the right on the right place in the right time. But I think it's not only luck, because if you work your ass off, you will reach these points, you know?
Yep.
These places and these moments. And if you're not working hard enough, you will never reach it, I think. So yeah, I think it's me, it's my team, and the hard work we're putting in for now, like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So
wow, decade.
Yeah, almost. I mean, 2016 was the first release, so still we have some time. But I started 2013, so it's 11 years.
Wow. Was there, I'm curious, was there a release or a phone call, a text, an email that you felt was the moment, like, INNELLEA is here, we're on and popping kind of thing?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a cool story. We were playing on a festival in Berlin, close to Berlin.
Yeah.
And we sent demos to Afterlife and Innervisions. And at one point on the festival, I opened up my messenger and I got 2 messages. One was from Matteo from Afterlife and the other one was from Christian from Innervisions. And they both signed tracks on the same day.
Come on.
Yeah. And we were on this festival. I opened this message while we were playing. I showed it to Daniel and he was like, no, I get shivers now.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's not real. And Sunny, our manager, was there as well. And we got so wasted afterwards.
Wow.
We were like partying like crazy. I remember even the festival came with like 2 bottles of champagne. Like, wow, that's insane, guys. Congrats. And yeah.
Wow.
That was the moment.
Super cool, bro. I mean, the timing and the coincidence of signing 2 tracks at that moment while you guys are together.
On the most significant labels back in the days.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And in this scene, yeah.
Wow. Crazy, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
What a story. Cool, man. Another interesting question. Industry stories. I was curious. I'm sure the fans will love this one. The craziest fan moment, maybe where they give you something, they did something for you, or they went all out, like almost too much, trying to get access to meet you or something?
That's a tough question. Because I always, I just told it to a friend, like, because he was asking me how I deal with all these interactions and all. And what I do is when I enter, let's say when I turn into this INNELLEA character, it feels like I'm wearing like I don't know, like a bubble around me. Yeah. And I'm just going there and just absorbing everything. So sometimes I'm like forgetting things because it's not Michael, it's INNELLEA. It's hard to say.
Yeah. I mean, was there any like crazy gift or someone was just like crying because they met you or like something along those lines?
Of course, like I had moments where they were throwing brass on the stage.
No way.
Yeah.
Sounds like a hip hop concert or something like that.
Yeah. I felt the same. Like,
no way.
Nice. No, these moments, and I think always in Egypt, India, people are crazy about it. So I love those guys. They're so passionate. There you need a security to pull you out because the fans love you so much.
Wow.
And but I love them. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
So these moments are always crazy, and that's why I need somehow this bubble to not like I don't know, to get arrogant or something. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool, man. I always like to touch on this topic because for myself, and I'm sure other people that work in the industry, the nightlife can be super heavy. There's certainly some toxic components to it and a lot of temptation and influence. I was curious, how do you navigate that? Did you ever go through adverse times where the heaviness of the nightlife was a lot for you? How did you get through it, if that's applicable? Or any advice you have in general for people that are working in nightlife and having a difficult time to separate all that the nightlife comes with and treat it still as a profession?
Are you talking more about like the physical sides of it or mentally or both?
I would say both, because I feel like let's just call it what it is. The nightlife, there's people that have substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, all that kind of stuff, and that can wear on you physically, of course, and have its mental strains too.
Well, one advice I'm definitely giving is don't do these substances if you really want to make it on a regular base, because it will fuck you up and you will lose track so fast. At least that's what I can say for me. Then also, of course, take care of your health. Take these breaks. Do this disconnecting things, and just take care of your body and your mindset, obviously, as well. Like, I don't know. I think, as I said, also with this bubble, like, maybe you can try to diversify, like, your personality and your artists somehow. You know, like, this can help as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just listen to your body and do everything in balance.
Right.
Balance is key with everything. Nightlife, family, friends. Try to find a balance.
Yeah. Yeah, we had I had a guest, Afro House DJ and producers, a couple, Savage and She, recently, and he said something that was super impactful. He said basically like, when you're out, let's say, and there's a crazy night and a bunch of people around you partying, most likely those people are on a holiday or they're taking their downtime and doing whatever they want, just chilling and enjoying. But you as a professional, you're there to work, and to sustain this and do it multiple times throughout the week and have a long career path, you have to really manage and control yourself and be disciplined to avoid destroying yourself, essentially.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. Cool, man. Moving along here, social media plays a huge role in all of our lives. Our phones are an extension of us now. And especially in music, a way to put yourself out there at scale is social media marketing, branding, all of this stuff. I was curious, do you have any tips or advice, or could you share a bit about how you approach social media? Is it purely organic, or do you think pretty well ahead in terms of posting and styles of content and stuff?
It changed recently.
Okay.
I think we went from a phase where everybody was too cool for school, not showing their private lives or what they're doing on tour, etc. Changed into a social media game where people have to show it, otherwise their following will lose interest somehow, because everybody knows how it looks like behind a big DJ and the other way around. So I think the only way how you can pop out of others is be yourself, because there's only one Michael or one INNELLEA, and there's only one, I don't know, any other DJ and artist. So I think you should use that strength.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a tough game, man. It's changing all the time.
Yeah. Algorithms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Right.
It can be a frustrating thing, but it's also like a super strong tool, obviously. And if you play it right, you can reach a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are doing it right, and it works. So organically, not paid or whatever. So.
Do you have, how intentional are you at this point now that you have a team and your career is so big now? Again, I was curious, like, speaking strategy-wise, are you guys pretty methodical about how and what you want to post? Do you leave a bit of free flow and organic activity to it?
Yeah, we leave it free. I mean, we try, obviously, to give every promoter their attention and the gratitude that we have for them. But it's not always possible, you know? Like, there are shows that are maybe just way too dark, but still their vibe was great. But you cannot picture it, and you cannot, like, somehow post anything about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing it kind of free, let's say, flowy,
Cool.
but yet structured. I have a social media manager.
Got you.
And she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. And yeah.
Nice, man.
It's always teamwork.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. Couple questions left, my friend. This one I always love to ask it every episode. I get a few gems of wisdom from my own self and my own career. So imagine there's a DJ producer out there right now that is not starting from scratch. He's got some momentum, maybe a few residencies. He's put out some releases on a few small labels, but he or she is super ambitious to break through to that international level, let's say. Based on your experience, based on the way that you see the industry is now, how social media is going, any, let's say, 2 or 3 tips of advice you could offer to that ambitious artist that is looking to leave the home down and start doing laps around the globe, let's say?
Patience, first one. Team around you, second one. And the third one is definitely be true to yourself and find your niche and find your sound and your style. Because if you're a copycat of the thousands melodic techno producer, it won't help. You will stay at the level where you are, but you have to push boundaries and you have to break rules, I think.
Right. When it comes to team building, let's say this individual that's up and coming knows that they need someone or something to help move them forward faster. Are there any core team members you think are essential in the beginning? Do you think maybe because social media is big, if they're weak on content, they need a social media manager first? Or would you say a strong booking agent or a manager that's really passionate about their career?
That's a good question. Because you have to be at a certain point, I think, that, for example, a booking agent can elevate things. Yeah, I think nowadays a manager that helps you with a vision and helps you following a vision and has a second angle kind of use for it can help for sure. And there are a lot of good managers out there that will support you in the beginning without charging or something, you know, like you just have to find the right person. And I think what I did, Sunny went from a friend to a booking agent to a manager, and he's still my friend, you know, and it's nice to work with a friend on a vision also.
Got it.
It helps.
Amazing, dude. Okay, last couple ones here. Any special projects that you can talk about that the people can get excited about to look out for? Anything else coming out the rest of the year, or are you done for 2024?
Tomorrow, there's the next release with Afnan Prince called Effort of Change. I really love that song, and I really love Afnan. He's an amazing person, a great artist, and I love spending time with him. Then in January, as I said, there's a collab with Colin and someone else that I cannot tell yet. People, I think, are not expecting it. Then in March is another track with, I would say, no, Genesee. I don't know if it's March. Please don't.
Don't hold him to it.
Yeah. With Genesee and Medusa.
Whoa.
Called Edge of the World.
Whoa,
and
you, Genesee, and Medusa?
Yeah. And it's highly anticipated.
Yeah.
It's crazy because people sing to the song without even knowing it. So the lyrics are really, really catchy, and I'm really excited for this one.
Cool.
Well, yeah, then the label in March with 8 new originals of myself as collabs with amazing artists.
The label project?
Label project.
Wow.
Maybe I forgot something. But no, I think that's it.
That's okay. I think that's enough for us to get hyped.
A label is enough, I think. Even.
Yeah. Nice, cool, man. So I'll take this last moment here just to acknowledge you, man. For me, like I had said, I've been DJing and producing now for about 4 or 5 years, and in recent years got more into melodic techno. Heard about you, been following your journey, and I have a growing team around me. And I always speak about how your success, how you carry yourself, what you represent, I consider like a North Star, something to strive to. So I wanted to say thanks for your contribution to the culture, the scene, and of course being here in Bali and being a part of my night, Resurgence Thursdays at Atlas Super Club.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Nice last words.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We're out of here. Brodie Nero TV. Yeah.
Ciao.